So a few months ago, I did a video talking about how the Apple Magic Keyboard changed everything for me when it comes to the iPad Pro. And I talked about being able to use the iPad Pro as my everyday computing device. And so about 5 months later, I want to tell you guys where we stand right now and how I'm using the iPad Pro for my content creation here on YouTube. So with that being said, let's plug in. What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the Coach Plugged In channel. It has been a minute. A long minute. But I am happy to tell you that I'm back. It's been about a month since I posted my last video, but we are so grateful. My wife and I had our beautiful baby girl at the beginning of August, and so since then I haven't really been doing anything on the YouTube channel or even on other platforms, but now that things are starting to calm down a little bit, I am happy to be back and giving you some more content. So there's going to be a lot of content that's going to be posted in the upcoming weeks. So make sure you are subscribed to the channel so I can keep you plugged in on your technology here in 2020. So like I said, we're going to be talking about the iPad today, and specifically talking about some of the things that I like about my workflow with the iPad Pro as it is for me in content creation here on YouTube and other social media platforms. So most of my videos that have been on this YouTube platform have been edited and published, exported, everything from this iPad Pro. And so today I'm going to be talking to you guys about how I get things from one device to another, how I edit those things, what does my workflow look like for that, and then also how I export and keep things moving when it comes to doing thumbnails and also just posting everyday content. So first things first, I do have my content creation folder right here on the main page of my iPad Pro. And in that content folder, you'll see that I have LumaFusion, Affinity Photo, Lightroom. I do have YouTube, iMovie, Darkroom, and TubeBuddy. And that's usually most of the applications that I'll be using for content creation on the iPad Pro. Now, when I'm recording my videos, I'm recording straight from the Sony a6400, and I usually take the SD card straight out after recording A-roll and B-roll, and I put it right into this I think it's like a 6-in-1. It's a 6-in-1 USB-C hub, and I'll take the SD card from my A6400 right into this USB-C hub right here and plug it into the iPad Pro, and that's how we get to work. We will plug this USB-C hub right into the iPad, and then all of my files will pop up onto the screen. But for video purposes, I have already put some of the files that I'm going to use for today's video onto the iPad Pro. And so from there, you can do a couple things with the iPad Pro. You can either take the files straight from the SD card and open them straight up into LumaFusion. You can import them into your files, or you can import them into your Photos application so that you can get things started on LumaFusion. So right when LumaFusion pops up, you'll see that it has a couple of things. So I have a Coach Plugged In Assets project. So with the implementation of LumaFusion 2.3, now we are able to copy and paste assets and different things from one project to the next project and dropping those things into different timelines. So I worked with a creator. His YouTube channel is called Switch2i. You can also find him over on Instagram. But him and I worked together to create me some nice lower thirds and things of that nature. So one of the things that he created was he created a nice little intro for me that had my lower thirds of my social media handles and other things like that. And then also some subscribe buttons, some comment buttons, and everything of the sorts. And also that comes with a little bit of a sound effect. So the first thing that I would do for any new project is that I would go into LumaFusion and duplicate that project. So that, you see I have an assets 2 and an assets 3, but the thing that I'm going to do with this one right here is I am going to go into this, and you can change the name to whatever you want to change it to. So if I wanted to add notes, or if I wanted to change the color of this, maybe I want to make this one right here a green one, and if you click on the title, you can also change this right here to, YouTube video iPad Pro And so one of the good things about this is that some of the other settings that you would have for a video are already saved. Now, if you're trying to do a video in a different aspect ratio or a different frame rate, you'll have to create a whole new project and then just pull those over from that project. But since now I already have this in a 16:9 and I already have it at 30 frames per second, which is what I use, and I change the name of the video, I can go ahead and open up this new project. And then from there, I can go in and I can, delete one of the, clips. And then I can go into my imported or my camera roll, and I can actually start to import some of those clips into LumaFusion and start cutting up my edit. So this is the 2018 11-inch iPad Pro, and I am also using the Apple Magic Keyboard with it. But for today's purpose, for the top-down shot, I am not using the Apple Magic Keyboard because then you wouldn't be able to see the screen all that well. But this 11-inch iPad Pro actually has done a lot for me, and it has been very well when it comes to doing creation on the go. I do have a MacBook, but I typically use this iPad Pro for all of my daily tasks and for most of my content creation. So also let me show you what you would do if you had to create an entirely new project. You go in and you would create a new project, and it has my project. I'm just gonna go to iPad sample right here, and I'm gonna, so I have my frame rate, I have my aspect ratio. So now I have a completely new timeline. So I'm gonna go back to that assets folder. Well, I call it a folder, but it's really just an assets document. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this new feature that allows us to do, drag over everything, and then we can, go in and we can copy that particular set of clips or a set of assets. And then we're going to go back to our sample, and what we're going to do is we're going to turn that on, but we're going to paste. And what it did in here is it pasted it as a, as a new set of files. And then same thing, I'm going to go ahead and unlink all of this. And then I'm going to go ahead and, delete. Well, I really don't want to do that. I'm going to undo that. But I'm going to unlink this as well. And I'm just going to delete this clip right here. So now we still have our lower thirds. We still have our sound effect, which is a glitch effect on the screen when that comes up, and then we can still do our imported. So typically once I get inside of LumaFusion, I will usually come in, and once I have my clips down, right before I do all of my edits, I will go in and I will do a little bit of color correction. I did get some LUTs from Henny the Business's website. He is another creator, music creator, but also content creator from the iPad only. And so he had some presets for your camera. And now that Henny's using a Sony camera, he's using a couple Sony cameras to do all of his work. So maybe he might drop some more LUTs for LumaFusion, but I usually will go in and I will, either double click, or I will, go in here and I'll go to my effects table, and then I'll kind of go in and do a little bit of the color correction just to make sure everything looks right. On this one right here, I actually used the Filmic Pro LUT because it just really looked good on this. Usually I'll add a little vignette on there. And as well as using the presets for the picture quality, I also use some audio presets that I got online from another creator. And I will leave links to all of these things down in the description below. But once I have my talking head shot looking correct, and I have my audio correct and synced nicely, I'll usually go through and I'll make a lot of fine cuts. So right here is one of the videos that I've already cut up, and I've got my lower thirds for all of those, and I've got my talking head together. I've thrown my B-roll in there, and I've got my sound effects in here, as well as having my background music for the video itself. And I'm in the process of learning how to make some new, outro and intro things, but that's simply how you do it in LumaFusion. Like, I mean, everything that you would need to do, you can do, from transitions to effects. You can either have those things already inside of the system, or there's other creators that are creating presets that allow you to do some of these things with the transitions and stuff. But just if you're a creator, no matter what level you are, you can use LumaFusion to get everything that you need done that you would do in a Final Cut Pro or anything of that nature. Man, so all of that from this 11-inch iPad Pro, and I actually bought this right here refurbished from Apple. I have thought about checking out the Apple Pencil because I want to see if I can do more with that in general for the iPad Pro, but my content creation process on this iPad Pro is the reason why it has remained my main computer. Of course, I can still do Word documenting and PDF signing and other things with creation, as well as watching it for entertainment purposes, and we'll get into that in further videos. But if there's someone out there that is looking to buy an iPad Pro, you can do everything that you need to do straight from this iPad Pro. It is very simple to use, and one of the best things about this device is if you are using it like it's a computer, using that Apple Magic Keyboard, you can always pull it off and touch the screen, or touch the screen even when it's in that keyboard case. So that right there is my process from importing to editing to exporting thumbnails, descriptions, all the way from start to finish on getting it to YouTube right here for you in 2020. So if you're out there looking for a device that can do both, then the iPad Pro is still for you. Also, if you're looking at creating better content here in 2020 and you're looking to learn some things, check out the link in the description from Skillshare. I have a link down there that the first so many people who click on that link, you'll get a 2-month free trial to their premium account. Skillshare is a platform where creators can share their work in course format so that people can create a better lifestyle for themselves. You can find things on iPad creation, on MacBook, PC, from productivity to filmmaking, photography, anything that you want, you can name it. So check out the description below and click on that link to get started today on building a better brand for yourself. If you like the journey that I have been on with this iPad Pro and you want to learn more about what I've been doing or seeing some of the things that I've been doing, make sure to stay tuned to the end screen or some of the links below in the description, as I have more videos talking about the iPad Pro and some of the apps that I use and some of the accessories that I use with this iPad Pro. Well, that's all I have for you guys today as I continue to try to get back to creating content for you. Thank you so much for everybody that has plugged into this channel. The channel recently went over 1,000 subscribers, so I will be doing a special video very soon to talk to you guys about that, and I'm so thankful for everybody that has subscribed to the channel. Be sure to hit that notification bell so that you are getting notified when new videos are coming out. And question for you today is, what are you using to create your videos here in 2020, both camera and editing device? And I want to hear from you down in the comments below, so make sure you like and comment below the answer to that question. And until next time, make sure you guys are still being safe and make sure that we respect others. And I salute everybody for being on the platform and doing the things that you do every day, whether you're watching it or you're creating. Make sure that you do something to stay plugged in here in 2020. And until next time, I'll catch y'all later. Peace.